you wake up freezing, curled in a tight ball, nose tucked under your tail, in a pile of warm bodies. There are 6 of them around you, and here's the first thing you need to understand. They're not your packmates, they're your family. You're a wolf now, a wild gray wolf, somewhere in the cold pine country of the northern Rockies. In about an hour, you and that family are going to try to bring down an animal 10 times your size, together or not at all. So let's run your first 24 hours, hour by hour, and I promise you, almost everything you've been told about wolves is wrong. First, let's talk about the body you're driving today, because it's built for one thing, going the distance. You weigh somewhere around 80 to 110 pounds, about the size of a grown person, but almost none of it is fat. It's lean muscle, long legs, and lungs. Because you are not a sprinter, you're a marathon runner. You can trot at 5 miles an hour basically all day, and when you need to, you can hit speeds over 35. Then there's your nose. This is the part that'll mess with your head. Your sense of smell is somewhere around 100 times sharper than a human's. Some say far more. You can pick up another animal from well over a mile away and read a single scent mark like a paragraph of text who passed here, how long ago, male or female, healthy or sick. Your jaws can clamp down with around twice the bite force of a big dog. Your ears swivel to catch a sound miles off. And your feet are huge. They splay out in deep snow like built-in snowshoes, so you glide right over drifts that a deer sinks straight into. So you're a tireless, sharp-nosed, snow-gliding endurance hunter. Sounds unstoppable, right? Yeah, about that. The pile starts to move. And the first thing the whole family does when it wakes up is throw a party. Tails wagging, bodies low, everyone licking faces and bumping noses and whining with excitement. This is the morning greeting, the rally. It happens before almost everything you do together, and it ends in the thing you're famous for. The howl. All of you, together, a rising chorus rolling out over the valley. And here's myth number 1. Busted? You're not howling at the moon. Wolves don't care about the moon. A howl is a phone call. It pulls the family back together when you've split up, it warns rival packs to stay off your land, and every wolf's voice is different, so when you hear one, you know exactly who it is. That group howl you just did can carry 6 to 10 miles across open country. Now myth number 2, the big one. You've heard there's an alpha, a top wolf who fought his way to the top, who you have to dominate, who eats first. It's not real. The scientists who came up with alpha wolves studied captive wolves, strangers forced together in a pen, and later spent years trying to take it back. In a wild pack, the 2 in charge are just the parents. The alpha pair are mom and dad. The rest of you, you're their kids, this year's pups and last year's. A wolf pack isn't a gang that fought to the top, it's a family. And the leaders lead the way human parents do. So no, you didn't wake up in an army, you woke up at home. But a family this size needs to eat, a lot, and that means the hard part of your day. There they are, elk. A whole herd of them down in the meadow, and a single bull can weigh 700 pounds, with antlers and hooves that can crack your skull or break your ribs. You are 90 pounds. There are 6 of you. Do the math, and you should lose. So you don't just charge, you hunt the way wolves actually hunt, you test them. The pack pushes the herd into a run and you all watch, not for the closest animal, for the weak one, the one that limps half a step, the old one, the sick one, the calf that falls behind. And once you've picked your target, it becomes a relay. You don't sprint it down in one burst. You can't, you wear it down. One wolf pushes, then another takes over, then another, splitting wide, cutting the angle, never letting it rest. This can go on for miles. And then, most of the time, it gets away. Because here's the brutal truth, wolves fail. Depending on the prey and the season, the vast majority of hunts end with nothing. You are the apex predator of this entire ecosystem, and you miss far more than you hit. Every meal is earned, and a lot of days, it isn't earned at all. So you've burned huge energy on an empty stomach, and the morning's already gone. But that failure is exactly why the next part of your day matters so much. Because survival out here isn't really about the hunt, it's about the map. Because this isn't just a valley, it's your family's land, and it is huge. A wolf pack's territory can run anywhere from 50 to over 1,000 square miles, and you patrol it constantly. Wolves regularly cover 20-30 miles in a single day just moving through their range. And the whole way, you're leaving messages and reading them. You scent mark the borders, a spray on a rock, a scratch in the dirt, little signposts that say this family lives here. Then, halfway through the patrol, you freeze. A scent mark on a boundary tree, fresh. Not your family. A rival pack has been testing your border. And this is the most dangerous thing in your whole world, and it's not the elk. The #1 natural cause of death for a wild wolf is other wolves. Territory fights between packs are brutal and they're often fatal. So when you smell strangers, you don't go pick a fight. You throw your heads back and you howl. The whole family, sounding as big and as fierce as you possibly can. You're not trying to start a war, you're trying to avoid one. We're here, we're many, don't come closer. And today, the far ridge stays silent. They got the message. The border holds and nobody bleeds. So the border's safe, the strangers are gone, and for once you've got a quiet stretch of afternoon, which is the perfect time to bust a few more myths about you. Take the most famous one of all, the lone wolf. The tough loner who walks alone because he's just that hardcore. Real lone wolves do exist, but here's who they actually are, teenagers. Around age 1 or 2, a young wolf leaves the family and strikes out completely alone, sometimes walking hundreds of miles across totally unknown country. But not to be a brooding loner. They're looking for two things, a patch of empty land and a mate. A lone wolf isn't a tough guy. It's a kid who left home to fall in love and start a family of its own. Every pack out there started with exactly one. Here's another one. You picture a wolf and you picture it taking down a giant elk, but most of what you actually eat is tiny. When the big hunts fail, which, remember, is most of the time, you get by on whatever small thing you can catch. Mice, voles, squirrels, rabbits. You'll pounce on a mouse in the snow exactly like a fox. Front paws first, face plant and all. You'll wade into an ice-cold river and pin fish with your mouth. And in late summer, you'll straight up eat berries, wild blueberries, by the mouthful, like a giant fuzzy bear. A wolf isn't some pure killing machine. You're an opportunist, and you'll happily eat a handful of berries if it means surviving one more day. And you're not doing any of this alone, and I don't just mean the pack. Look up. Come on, ravens. There are almost always ravens around you, so many, in fact, that people literally call them wolf birds. They follow you everywhere. They'll circle high over a sick or struggling animal and call out, basically pointing you straight toward your next meal. And in return, they get to share whatever you catch. They can't tear open a tough hide on their own, but you can. They'll even play with you. A raven will dive down and tug at a wolf's tail, the wolf spins and snaps back, and then they just do it again. Over and over. It looks exactly like two kids messing around. Now, hanging with your family all afternoon, you're actually talking constantly, without making a single sound. Everything is body language. Your tail held high means you're feeling confident. Your tail tucked down low means you're nervous, or that you're saying sorry. Ears forward and up, alert, curious, interested. Ears flattened back and soft, I mean no harm, I'm not a threat. And when you want to play, you do the exact move every dog owner already knows, the play bow. Front end down, back end up, tail going crazy, let's go. You can have a whole conversation, who's in charge, who's sorry, who wants to wrestle, and never once need to actually fight about it. And every bit of this is happening in a world that would flat out kill a human being in a single night. Your fur is secretly a double coat, a dense woolly underlayer that traps your body heat, and a long outer layer that sheds snow and water right off you. You can lie straight down and sleep out in the open at 40 below zero. You just curl into a tight ball, drape your big bushy tail over your nose like a built-in scarf, and you're completely fine. While every other animal out there is fighting just to survive the cold, you're built to walk straight through it like it's nothing. But all that wandering and talking and snacking has burned the whole afternoon away. The light's going gold again, and that means one last shot at a real meal before dark. And then, finally, the land gives you a second chance. A young elk alone favoring one leg cut off from the herd near the creek. This time, the test goes your way. You push, the relay closes, and the pack does together what no single one of you could ever do alone. It's fast, and it's a team that does it. Not a hero, a family. Now, finally, you eat. And a wolf does not eat politely. After days with nothing, you can put away around 20 pounds of meat in one sitting. There's even a name for it. Wolves gorge and fast, stuffing themselves when there's food because they have no idea when the next meal comes. And here's myth number 3, gone. The alpha doesn't shove everyone aside to eat first. At a kill, it's often the pups that get priority, the parents stepping back to let this year's litter fill their bellies. Because the whole point of everything you did today wasn't you, it was them. In fact, you don't even eat it all here. You'll carry food back, sometimes in your own stomach, to throw it back up for the pups waiting at the den. That's not gross. To a wolf, that's love. Because back at a safe spot, the rendezvous site, the pack's summer living room, the youngest pups have been waiting all day, guarded by a babysitter. One adult always stays behind. Pups can't keep up with a hunt, so the family takes shifts watching them, the same way a human family would. And when you come over that rise, full, they lose their minds. They swarm you, licking at the corners of your mouth, and that licking is the trigger that brings the food back up for them. They eat, they tumble, they play fight, practicing the exact moves that'll keep them alive in a year. This is the part nobody pictures when they think wolf, not a lone killer howling on a cliff, a tired parent coming home to feed the kids. But here's the thing, your day as a wolf is really about something you can't even feel from inside that body because it's happening to the whole valley around you. When wolves disappear from a place, it falls apart, and we know this because we watched it happen and then watched it reverse. By the 1920s, people had wiped wolves out of Yellowstone completely, and without you, the elk had nothing to fear. They stood around in the valleys and along the rivers, eating the young trees down to nothing. The willows and aspens vanished. The beavers who needed those trees vanished with them. The riverbanks, with no roots to hold them, started washing away. Then, in 1995, they brought the wolves back. And the elk started moving again, keeping out of the open, out of the riverbeds, because now there was something hunting them. The young trees came back, the beavers returned, songbirds came back to the new growth, the riverbanks held. Scientists will tell you it's more complicated than one tidy story, but the heart of it is real. Bring back the wolf, and the land heals. You're not just a predator, you're the thread the whole web hangs on. That's what they call a keystone species. And that not the howling at the moon, lone wolf, alpha male stuff, that is the most powerful thing about being a wolf. So that was your 24 hours as a wolf. You woke up in a pile of family, you failed to hunt like wolves usually do. You scared off a rival pack without a fight. You made a kill as a team, fed the pups before yourself, and went to sleep as the single most important animal in the entire valley. Not a lone wolf, not an alpha. A parent, a sibling, a hunter, and the reason the river still runs where it does. If you'd survive a day as a wolf, hit subscribe, because next I want to drop you into the body of something completely different, and you're going to want to be there for it. Tap the video on screen and let's see if you make it out. I'll see you in there.